Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Comics, and I am genuinely excited to chat with you today about the brand new footage from Spider-Man Brand New Day that Sony showed off at CinemaCon 2026. Tom Holland is back as Peter Parker in what he's calling the most emotional and grown-up Spider-Man movie yet. They dropped 2 fresh posters and shared some exclusive footage that's not online yet. So today, we're going to break it all down together. We'll be spoiling the CinemaCon stuff here. First things first, Sony unveiled 2 really striking new posters at the event. The first one shows Spider-Man battling multiple hand ninjas similar to what we saw in the teaser, looking completely alone against overwhelming odds. It gives off that classic one against the world feeling, which fits perfectly with the Brand New Day comic era. The second poster is a beautiful close-up on Spider-Man's mask, with reflections of MJ's character visible in the eyes. It feels like a loving homage to the older Spider-Man films, especially the Sam Raimi's era. To me, it really emphasizes the behind-the-mask emotional side. Peter seeing glimpses of his lost friends and old life while he's out there swinging. These posters show Sony is confident in the tone. Darker, more mature, but still respectful to the legacy. Tom Holland introduced the footage and described the movie as the most emotional and grown-up Spider-Man we've ever made. He mentioned it's quite gritty in places, and the scenes they showed take place in the first third of the film, focusing on how Doctor Strange's spell has affected Peter's life 4 years later in 2028. Peter is trying to rebuild everything from scratch. No friends, no family remembering him, and that isolation is clearly weighing on him heavily. I gotta say, it sounds like we're getting the lonelier, more introspective Peter that many fans have been hoping for. Now, the main piece of exclusive footage is an extended version of the college apartment party scene we got a taste of in the first trailer. It starts with Peter at a bodega, just minding his own business, when Ned walks in from behind and grabs a couple of big mugs or mini kegs of beer for the party. Peter quietly follows him back to the apartment, where the housewarming party is already going strong. Inside, someone hands Peter a red cup of beer. As he walks through the crowd, he notices green decorations that probably stir up old memories. Then he spots Ned's back room, and there's this big investigation wall filled with news clippings, photos, and notes all about Spider-Man. Ned explains he's built an app called the Spider Tracker to map out where Spider-Man has been spotted. He's obsessed with finding him because Spider-Man saved his life multiple times. He even mentions something like 40 times. Ned says he doesn't want to expose the hero's identity, but he'd love the chance to thank him face to face. He's narrowed it down to 2 suspects, their old high school teacher, Mr. Harrington, and Flash Thompson. Peter is standing right there, laughing to himself because he's so close to the truth, yet still invisible to his best friend. Then MJ walks in. Peter gets visibly nervous, stumbles a bit, and introduces himself with a fake name, Maynard, a sweet little nod to Aunt May. He says he's just the neighbor from across the hall. MJ smiles and replies, "Friendly neighbor," which clearly hits Peter hard. He even spits out his beer in surprise. Peter had brought a pale rose flower bouquet as a housewarming gift. MJ jokes that most people just brought beer and chips. In the kitchen, Ned asks how MJ's job interview went. She says it was okay, but she turned it down because it felt like a soulless corporation. She mentions feeling like she's waiting for something greater, which gives the impression that her subconscious might be pushing back against the spell a little. It feels like both Ned and MJ have these repressed memories that could surface later in the movie. Then MJ's new boyfriend, played by Eminence Fondi, likely Paul Rabin from the comics, shows up, tells her, "You can't save everyone," and she replies, "I can try." They kiss while a heartbroken Peter watches from the side. That moment really stings. You can feel how devastated he is. This whole scene does such a great job showing Peter's quiet desperation to reconnect without blowing his cover. It's intimate, emotional, and really drives home the consequences of that No Way Home sacrifice. After the party scene cuts to black, we get a fun, extended sizzle reel with lots of dynamic slow-motion action. There's a quick glimpse of Peter's eyes turning black, a strong hint at the mutation storyline we've been theorizing about. The reel balances big, larger-than-life swings with these smaller, character-focused moments. It ends with Peter facing off against a group of damage control. He says something like, "So this is how it's going to be," cracks his neck, stretches a bit, and jokes that he's not in high school anymore, so he has to warm up before fights. Then he jumps into the action. We also hear a voiceover line. Spider-Man has 3 lives, from a character referred to as David, possibly Keith David. It ties nicely into the rebirth and mutation themes. A few little details that stood out to me: Peter's awkward flower bouquet, and how the spell seems to have adjusted everyone's memories so things don't quite line up perfectly anymore. Overall, the footage feels solid and confident. Sony is giving us a Peter who's choosing to be Spider-Man out of emotion and habit, even as his personal life falls apart. And I think fans who wanted a more mature, grounded story are going to love it. Before we wrap up, let's quickly touch on one of the bigger rumors making the rounds. Some leaks suggest that Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner might go full Savage Hulk mode and cause chaos in New York. The rumor claims Sadie Sink's mysterious character, widely believed to be Jean Grey, could psychically push him over the edge, leading to a citywide rampage. Spider-Man, Punisher, and others might have to step in to stop it. It would create a wild street-level to monster crossover, and potentially help introduce mutants into the MCU ahead of Avengers. Of course, this is still just a rumor, so take it with a grain of salt. But with the mutation hints, black eyes, and Banner cameo already in the trailer, it does feel plausible. I'd love to hear what you think in the comments. All in all, the CinemaCon presentation left me even more excited for Brand New Day. It promises a heartfelt, emotional core, with Peter's loneliness front and center, while still delivering the exciting Spider-Man action we crave. What did you guys think of the party scene? Did it hit you in the feels like it did for me? Are you hoping the Hulk rumor turns out to be true? Drop your thoughts down below. I read every comment. If you enjoyed this breakdown, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you catch the next one. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. July 31st can't come fast enough. A brand new day is on the way. Stay awesome, stay webby, and I'll see you in the next video.